Modern psychology warns us that loneliness is very dangerous. Loneliness can cause depression, anxiety, and such fatal conditions.
In modern cities like Bangalore, marrying, living in a relationship, or staying single are seen as equal and available option.
And we also know that Tagore says, Ekla chalo re, right?
So, how should a young person follow the right path?
How do we understand this loneliness and alone correctly?
Lonely. What makes me think that two lonely entities can get together to fulfill each other? Where did this concept, this idea, this dream come from? That man, that girl, he visits her every Saturday. This ordinary man, this ordinary woman, what can the two of them do in a room? Not space travel. There are some who are very confident of whatever they believe in. They say, I need a house in my life or car in my life, more commonly a man or a woman in my life, therefore I am lonely. I'm sure, I'm very confident. The moment I get the desired object, I won't be lonely anymore. Nonsense. What will you do with a woman? What? Keep the fluffy emotion aside. What exactly will you do with her? What is there?
Good evening, Acharya ji. My question is about loneliness. We know that the modern psychology warns us that loneliness is very dangerous. There are studies that shows that elongated periods of loneliness can cause depression, anxiety, and such fatal conditions. And we also know that some of the highest literature or some of the highest wisdom was written or created in solitude. And we know, like poets like Tagore says, Ekla chalo re, right? So in this, like we are living in Bangalore right now, in these cities with like full of crowded apartments, co-spaces, and full of noise, how do we understand this loneliness and alone correctly?
When you are conditioned to dream that your inner condition will find relief in something outer, what you have is loneliness. Loneliness is not the absence of a desired object or desired person. Before the absence of the person you desire comes the belief that your inner condition can be healed by the presence of an outer person. That inner concept is loneliness. You are made to feel, you have accepted that feeling, you believe in that feeling, that my inner condition can be treated through an outer object. This belief is loneliness. And freedom from this belief is aloneness. That's all. There are some who are very confident of whatever they believe in. They say, there is this belief. I need a house in my life or car in my life, more commonly a man or a woman in my life. Therefore, I am lonely. I'm sure, I'm very confident. The moment I get the desired object, I won't be lonely anymore. There are those, and then there are those who say, wait. Where did this belief come from? How am I made to think that a person, as ordinary as I am, will be the God to heal my life? What makes me think that way? What makes me think that two lonely entities can get together to fulfill each other? What makes me think that way? Let me inquire into the source of this belief. Where did this concept, this idea, this dream come from? Yes, I do have a void within. I experience that. There is something there. But what makes me think that some general fellow out there, as ordinary as I am, will be the cure? What makes me think that way? What makes me turn an ordinary mortal into my God? Why? And especially when that ordinary mortal is turning reciprocally me into his God. What is this God game? Moment you are free of the expectation that somebody can come and plug in this hollow that you have, the freedom from expectation is aloneness. Now your energies have been prevented from dissipating in all insane directions. Otherwise, human life can be called as a stream losing itself in 1,000 scattered ways. Rushing towards this object, then that object, then that object, that object, and finding solace nowhere. That's what loneliness does to you. A huge dissipator and a huge deceiver. Because you'll keep spending yourself all your life without finding relief anywhere. But there'll be a new hope, a new promise every time. And then one day you will find yourself committed and invested so deeply that you will become incapable of being honest to yourself. The investment will be so deep that you will be forced to lie to yourself. And you will say, now I am not lonely anymore. What's the alternative? Yes, I have invested everything and I am still lonely. How stupid that sounds, right? One won't be able to face the mirror. So one then starts saying, finally I got what I was looking for and I'm not lonely anymore. No, sir, you're not honest anymore. Your investments are now so deep, that you cannot acknowledge that you are still as lonely as you were at the beginning of the search. Just that now you cannot afford honesty. All your life energy has now been absorbed by a particular relationship or a set of them. You feel like an utter fool internally. Yes, you do. But you cannot acknowledge it because it would look so stupid. You are 40 now and you are still as lonely as you were at 15. Just that now you have invested crores in the special ones around you. How do you acknowledge that all that has gone waste? Everybody would laugh at you. The mirror would laugh at you, first thing. So you now say, son, you must have a partner. The lies penetrate really deep, don't they? We lie so deeply, we start believing in our lies. Not just believing in our lies, we start propagating our lies. What to do? Lonely. Entire industries would collapse if you could find the real measure of your loneliness. Hmm? Loneliness is not just biological, it is social, industrial, commercial, religious, political. The entire world has a stake in making you feel lonely. What would, for example, a restaurant prefer? Three options: an entire family, at least a couple, or somebody like him. Please tell me. Family. And if not a family, then at least a couple. Why would the cafe owner want you to understand your loneliness? He would rather want your feeling of loneliness to be deepened. Seen how they advertise, it's a family entertainer. Seen how bachelors face trouble, even affording flats, normal places to rent. Everybody has a stake in doubling you, then quadrupling you. What would the politician want? The entire family converted? He comes, for example, to canvass in your region. Who do you rather speak to? A family or a bachelor? All the so-called religious zealots, he stands in front of them and says, here I am, all single, free, ready to mingle anywhere. They would hate him. They would say, you are the reason why our population is shrinking. Go get a litter of 5. These days they are advising me. So you are coming up with this Gita movement. We see it is a good thing, but it will die down. Because all these young people who are coming to you, if they remain single, who will carry your mission forward? So you must tell them, yeah. What will you do with a woman? What? Keep the fluffy emotion aside. What exactly will you do with her? What is there? Half the audience here is women. What is special about them? Tell me. What is special about you? What? She's as ordinary as you are. There's nothing there, nothing at all. Except a lot of cloudy, woolly, sentimental nonsense. You sleep daily? Do you? Ladies, do you sleep daily? What do you eat? Ladies, what do you eat? Do you visit the loo? Do you? You know, I'm about to reveal a secret. Ladies too visit the loo just like you. What exactly are you imagining? Please tell me. If you say there is a big sexual component, right? Probably that can be admitted on biological terms. Yes, there might be. But then you are not talking of loneliness as an episode, right? Because a sexual episode lasts just a few minutes. You're talking of loneliness as a state, as a permanent condition. Now, will you have permanent sex? If loneliness is permanent, how can sex relieve it? Because you cannot have permanent or semi-permanent sex. No woman would be willing, or even you don't have the stamina for that. So you would continue to be lonely, right? Because sex would come and go. And now you're lying flat, still staring at the same ceiling. She is by your side, but you are staring at the ceiling. You are still as lonely. What will you do now? Ask all the husbands. And the wives, obviously. To begin with, you were lonely all by yourself. Now you are lonely with a partner. Lonely you still are. Right? And the second kind is worse, is it not? Yes. To be lonely even with a partner, to be lonely even in a relationship. And mind you, your loneliness won't go away. Because loneliness is not the absence of a person, it is the presence of a belief. But you destroy the other gender when you look at him or her through this lens of loneliness. The other person may have much to offer as a person, but the other will fail to offer anything as a plug. You don't look for a person, you look for a plug. You understand a plug? No, not just to charge. Something that would, for example, plug a hole. A fill, yes, a fill. You look at the other as a fill. As a person, the other can potentially be nice, wonderful, good. All those are probably possible. But as a plug, no person will ever suffice or succeed. Because nobody can plug into a belief successfully. Had there been a real void, maybe somebody could have plugged it. But there is no real void. All that exists is a belief. The man or the woman, can be befriended. But the moment you start looking at that person romantically, you have killed the whole thing. If you are with someone and you perceive that look in their eyes, run away. And that look cannot be missed. You can easily identify it. This is not the look of a lover, this is the look of a butcher. Looking at you this way, you are being charmed, and the knife is being sharpened behind the back. Now he's being charmed. But how you love it when you are looked at this way? Huh? That's what loneliness is, right? Somebody to give me that look. What will you do with that look? Okay, tell me. What will you do with that look? What will you do? How many of you have received that look at least once in life? You haven't, not even once. What kind of famine exists? What did you get from that look? Two kids. That should also tell me it's an evolutionary tactic, right? And evolution doesn't care for individual members of our species. Evolution only cares for the whole, the aggregate. What happens to your individual quest for liberation? Evolution gives two hoots to that. Individually, you might be trying to be liberated, but evolution will tell you, no, you are lonely. You get hold of a girl and get two kids. Can't you see that?
Acharya, once we start to see the faults, right? And we start to see the faults in others, and now we can't explain them that they are living in the faults. I don't know what that feeling is, that I don't know, it's sadness or being lonely. Also, we start to see the faults in us as well. So that being in that state, also, I don't know what I'm hinting at. But
You're happy. That is fine. Yes, continue.
then what I'm saying is, we are we study that we are seeing false conditionings. We see the faults in the world, right? In our close ones, in our family. We can't explain them. We can't say that this is the conditioning, that's how you're living. That embellishes some sadness in me, or being that also gets some lonely feeling in me. At the same time, I also see the faults in myself, right? So that kind of state, it kind of, I don't know what to do. That feels.
No, then you're talking of something else. You're talking of that particular sadness. That feeling of helplessness, a sudden resignation, right? What do? I want to tell something, but the other cannot comprehend. That feeling you're talking of.
At the same time, because I see the faults in me and I'm not changing, I feel.
Who's not changing? You or they?
Me also. I feel hypocritical to say that they are not changing from their false conditioning.
Then do not convey it as a lived experience. Convey it at least as a principle you admire, and be clear. Because mind you, the ego is a range. Within that range, you might be operating at that point, right? But you do know of a principle to be admirable. Convey to others what you know of as admirable just as a principle, not as your own lived experience. Be clear. I do not yet abide by what I am telling you. That could be the wording. I do not yet live what I am suggesting to you. But honestly, since I admire what I am telling you, therefore I am sharing. I'm not yet there, but I want to be there, and I'm sharing with you what I admire, and that's why I want to be there. Otherwise, you'll be putting a rather tough constraint on yourself. You'll be saying, unless it is totally a lived thing, I'll not proceed to share. Which is undoubtedly very, very honest of you. But that would reduce your usefulness to others. You are saying, I'll wait for 20 years, and only when I am fully sure that I'm absolutely living it, will I proceed to share with others. No.
Thank you, Acharya.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. My name is Vibhor, and I'm living in Bangalore from past few years. And as asked by the fellow participant about loneliness, so my question is a follow-up question. So my question is like, in modern cities like Bangalore, marrying, living in a relationship, or staying single are seen as equal and available option. Yet people remain lonely and scared of commitment. So how should a young person follow the right path, whether to marry or stay single or live in a relationship? Thank you. That's my question.
There is no right path in this. And you are talking of the young person, young, all right, nevertheless an adult, right? So you simply shouldn't say young, you should say young adult, right? 25, 30, something. Even 18 is an adult. 35. How old are you?
30, sir. 30, sir.
30. So, who is anybody else to tell you what kind of relationship to have with another adult? I don't have a locus standi or any say in that. None at all. All I can say is operate from the right center within and be honest to what you already know. And after that, whether you choose to just live together or get married or get separated, that's your personal domain. Nobody should have any say in that. In fact, it's very indecent, very vulgar for a third person to comment on the relationship, the intimate relationship between two other individuals. Just as I wouldn't want you to peep into what I may call as personal in my life, similarly, I won't want to get into what is the purely personal, which is the physical domain of your life. Right? What does spirituality or wisdom have to do with, for example, whether you like red or green or looks at the center of choice, right? Not, it doesn't dictate the object to be chosen. It doesn't dictate the kind of relationship to be had with the object. But we are often very submissive people. We allow external forces to determine our life, our work, our actions, and our relationships and our intimacy, don't we? Look at those who are fatalistic. Look at those who go to astrologers, for example. What are they saying? They are saying some power out there will decide everything about my life. Now, with that kind of approach, obviously, the one you live with, or get physical with, or marry, would also be decided by an external power. You have allowed the external to have a say in the very inner domain of your life. If love is really something that relates to your very core, how can the world be allowed to interfere in that? Yes, the world can have a say in the outer things, definitely, but not in the inner things. Inside, the world has to be kept at bay. Stay away, stay away. Not only should you not allow anybody to interfere, you should also not ask for advice in these matters. Neither ask for advice nor offer advice. Unless somebody comes for the sake of clarity itself. And clarity is a different thing. Clarity is not relationship advice. You're an adult, right? 30-year-old. You take care of your life. When two people are together, is it decent for a third one to hang around? I'm asking you. Is it decent? When you are with someone, would you want somebody else to be needlessly circling you or trying to intervene? Would you enjoy that? You must have the clarity and the courage to not let the world have a say in certain things. I have no problem with what young people are doing, but I have a problem if the young people are acting out of their darkness. The problem would not be with their action. The problem would be with their center. Yes, that's where I would want to say something. Sir, you are entering a relationship because of your loneliness, because of your flawed concepts, because of your unexamined desires, and this won't proceed well for you. Yes, this much I would say, but this is addressed to their center, not to their decision, not to their relationship, not to their partner in particular. And when it is addressed to their center, it is not only about one relationship with one object. Now it is about your relationship with all the objects you have in your life, including the table, the chair, the shoes, everything. You are not operating from the right center, therefore all your choices will be flawed. It's not about the man or woman you have chosen to be with. At the core of all of this is the fear of sex. Great fear of sex. But please tell me, for you to be greatly afraid of something, first of all, that thing must be great. For you to be hugely concerned about something, first of all, that thing must be huge. Why are you turning sex into a huge thing? It's a petty thing. Keep it at its place. Don't make it such a big issue. There are far more important things in life. There are far bigger matters to be concerned about. Why are you so afraid of sex? Why do you turn it into an obsession? Somebody is obsessed in terms of having sex. Somebody is so obsessed with celibacy. I'm a brahmachari, I will not have sex. It's almost like, not really equally, but almost like being obsessed with constipation. That's the biggest thing in life. whether or not I'm smooth at the loo. What's so huge about it? Like somebody very carefully, very meticulously, daily recording the color of the poop and the weight. Why are you turning it into such a big thing? There is nothing in it. And when there is nothing in it, there is nothing in it to be obsessed with either. By saying there is nothing in it, I'm not being randomly permissive. When there is nothing in it, do you get obsessed with it? You're obsessed with sex in the first place because the society has made it into a big thing. Oh, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. What's big about it? When we are so small, what in our life can be really big? The fellow himself is petty. How can sex be big for him? If you are petty, your sex will be pettier than you, right? It's happening everywhere in the animal kingdom. What's so novel about it? That man, that girl, he visits her every Saturday. This fellow is almost at the edge of enlightenment. If he can crack the code and discover what the two are doing together in that room, there would be a sudden burst of light and he'll be enlightened. This ordinary man, this ordinary woman, what can the two of them do in a room? Not space travel. And they are not discussing nuclear physics. What is there to get so excited about?
Right, sir.
As young adults, find higher things to occupy yourself with. Sex is neither great nor evil, it is a non issue. It is a very peripheral part of your being, and let it remain there. Don't drag it to the center. Do you get this? Let it remain there and forget it. The body, Prakriti, have a way of relating with a gender, the opposite gender. Your job is to choose the right person irrespective of the gender. Irrespective of whether you are buying a shirt or a hanky, or you are choosing a man or a woman, a young person, an old person, doesn't matter what you are choosing. Your job is to choose the right one. And then if sex happens, it happens. Now, what is certain is that if the sexual process does initiate, it is with the right person. Your job is not to look around for sex. Your job is to operate from the right center so that only the right person enters your life. And when that right person enters your life, if sex has to happen, it will happen. If it doesn't have to happen, it won't happen. You have better things to do in life, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, sir.